What's up, guys? This is a little impromptu intro clip. Apparently I screwed up some footage from this little video series that I've been shooting here lately, and in lieu of trying to go back and figure out how to make it look like that didn't happen, I figured I'd just give you a little shot of what I'm doing, and then we'll go from there on this project. So this little piece of equipment you can see right here is a very old, it's called a pasture renovator or an aerator. And this one, I thought it was homemade, but it came out of a little East Texas company. Made these back in the 60s and 70s. All this stuff down here is the old 3-point drawbar, and I started building a new one that'll work with the quick hitch. So once we get this thing kind of refitted where it'll work with a quick hitch, mostly because this thing's just a bear to hook up, that quick hitch adaptivity will make that a lot nicer. And but anyway, I didn't ever really use this thing. It's made to aerate soil. It doesn't really work in that aspect. It is good for thickening up a Bermuda stand. It'll cut Bermuda when it grows. It makes these leaders that'll run out across the ground, and when you cut through those nodules on those leaders will root down, and so it is good for that. But what I want to use it for is compost tea application. So I went through a few thoughts on the compost tea. I've been brewing it in my garden, or for my garden, and seen really good results there. First thing coming to my mind, was like, hey, I gotta get this in a field. So I had thoughts on making a spray rig. My issue with the spray rig is that, one, the cheaper pumps that are available are really detrimental to the microbacteria and fungi. The recommended pump is a diaphragm pump. These things are like $600-700 starting out, so it's kind of expensive. And the second thing with spraying to me is like, well, hey, if I spray it, it's going to be a top application, like a foliar application. And that microbacterial and fungi live in the soil, so it would be better and require a lot less tea if I could apply it directly into the soil. And so that's where this comes in. So the idea here is, once I get this new hitch built, and the hitch will come out here, tractor sits up in this general vicinity, 3-point hitch will come out here. I've got a 200-gallon aluminum tank that I'm gonna put in that area, and I'm just gonna go for a gravity feed. There'll be probably end up being a PVC manifold that'll run lengthwise across the back of the tractor, and then I believe there's 9 of these shanks. And what we're gonna do is, from that manifold, there'll just be a line that runs down the back of this shank. And when you drop this in the ground, and this thing will ride about 3-4 inches normally. It can get up to here, which would be about 5.5. That's pretty rare. So it'll apply my tea right into the root zone, right where it needs to be. And this setup, it's not all that different from a kind of low budget liquid fertilizer applicator. So of course, this project so far hadn't really cost any money. I think I spent $12 on some new 3-point pins and a couple grinding rocks. So, but anyhow, like I said, I screwed up the footage for the start of this, and rather than go back and try to recreate that and make it all seamless, I figure anybody that's interested in something like this can probably read between the lines till they get caught up to what I've got footage for now. And we'll go from there. So you guys stick around. We're gonna make a compost tea applicator and see if the dang thing works. All right, well, it's another new day, and come out, do a little more update work on the Renovator, Composterator. I haven't decided what I'm gonna call it yet, but it's been raining. It is soggy and wet, quite a mess. The sun is back out, but I really don't feel like getting all wet and nasty, so a little inside work today. I went over this morning and picked up some parts. Got some new links here for the quick hitch, or these are the quick hitch adapters here. These slide over and pin on, and picked these up. The old ones down here on the floor, these are category 1. The spacing on here is cat 2, but for whatever reason it had category 1 pins. But picked these up. Those will fit in there nice. And I was gonna replace all of this and extend it forward some, but man, I wanted like 150 bucks for a piece of this angle iron, and I didn't have any in the scrap pile, so I just decided against it. That's too much money to spend. So especially on something that we don't know if it's gonna work. So for now, I'm gonna put these new pins in and start making a new hoop for the top link, and get this thing where it'll fit on the quick hitch. So I don't know who may or may not be familiar with these quick hitch adapter, and these things, you just slide them over your factory pins when you're using a quick hitch. And what that does is, where normally out here on the on just the pin with the end link hooked to the tractor, you'd have a keeper out there that you'd slide your hitch on, put a pin through. Well, these don't have that. What you do have is this raised shoulder, and just gives it a positive stop point. These things, if you got a hitch, they usually come with them, and super easy to put on. There's a couple different options of holes there for different widths, and you just slide that sucker on there. Comes with a roll pin, and you pound that roll pin in. Not much to it. Pretty much as easy as that. All right, so I was going through here trying to figure out the exact spacing through here, which turns out to be about 15 inches. And the reason I was doing that is I need to figure out where the height of my top link needs to go, and so the links fit in that hitch as good as possible. And so decided, got this 3-inch square tube in here, and that's what I'm going to make my top hoop out of for the quick hitch. And so instead of going ahead and figuring out what that height needs to be, I figured I need to make the hitch part first, or the tabs for it. So I don't know if you guys can understand my scribbling here, but this is actually 2 different ones, and this is a piece of 3.5-inch material. It's about a 1/2 inch thick, be great for a hitch. So the first one, and this will be the center hole, so this will be the hole where the link is cut out, or the pin is cut out, and then that extra 1/2 inch of material will wrap over the top of that square tubing and give it a little bit more weld area and a little more strength. This, of course, here will be a waste piece, and then this will be the same thing. So the dilemma I was kind of having, I got two 1-inch drill bits, which is what the top Cat 2 Hitch is. This one here is a little boogered up, and I'm not a great drill bit sharpener. And this one is ancient. I'm sure it'd probably work, but the angles on it look really funny. So I was debating on what I was going to do with that, and so I came over and I got the mag drill out, which is this little unit here, and I don't have a 1-inch for it, but I do have an 1 1/16 mag drill bit, and it just so happens to fit fabulously inside that factory quick hitch hole. So with that being said, now 1 1/16 is obviously a little sloppy for a 1-inch pin, but that quick hitch fits decent with a 1-inch pin, and it is nice to be able to just get the pin in and out. And a lot of times with a twist drill bit, which is what these are, your hole will actually be a little undersized, so a 1-inch might be a few thousand smaller and actually hard to get a 1-inch pin in. So we're going to go the route of the Rotobroach mag drill bit, and it'll be a little easier to fit and a lot easier to drill. I mean, it's a one-stop shop. You just punch the hole, there's no pilot holes needed, none of that. So you do a twist drill bit, you usually have to make 3 or 4 actual holes before you get up to full size. So may not be perfect, but that's what we're going to do. Another thing I forgot to mention is I don't have the correct, this is the alignment pin that goes with these style of bits, and this is a 1-inch depth cut bit, and the only pin I have that's the right diameter is for a 2-inch depth of cut. And so this is an extra step I have to do, where I go and align it. See that dimple there? So I have to align the pin, get the mag drill locked down, which means magnet on and it's sturdy, and then I have to pull that pin out. So that's why I have to do that, if anybody happens to notice. See how that thing just shoots that cute little plug out? Makes a really nice hole. that's pretty much it. I know it's a little hard to see, but that leaves a really clean hole. And short of having a mill and all that good stuff, this is about as good as I can get. And the best thing is it's portable. It was reasonably cheap. I want to say these things retail for around $1,000, which is expensive, but at the time I bought it, I was using it every day, so that got absorbed pretty quick. And I actually bought it very gently used secondhand. I think I paid $650 or $750 for it, and had a few bits with it. And those things can be anywhere from a cheap one, $20-$30, up to the more expensive ones can be a couple $100. So that was a pretty good bonus. One more side tip with that. I'm not sure, I've never tried it myself, if it's true or not, but a old machinist told me that with these style of bits, that once you start a cut, you need to completely cut all the way through the material if you can. If you stop and you have to take the bit out, you need to make sure that you pull it all the way out and completely clear that hole of any chips. According to him, chips are the leading cause of chipped teeth on the cutter itself. And like I said, from $20-$30 to a couple $100, you want to make them last as long as you can. So like I said, I don't know if that's accurate or not. I've always followed his advice, and it's worked for me for several years, so take that for what it's worth. All right, torching time. See if I can get this on camera. I haven't recorded any cutting work, so this will be an experiment in itself. There it is. Well, I won't make any claims to being a very good torch hand, because it's not a very straight line, but it is cut. They're both done, and the main thing is they'll fit on there pretty decent. So get these buffed up with a grinder and cleaned up, and move on to the next step. Got those little brackets cut out. Tabs, brackets, whatever you want to call them. Still not super clean, but plenty good enough for the rest of the junk they're going to be mounted to, as far as I'm concerned. So they'll do the job. That's all that matters. Well, I did a little figuring, trying to figure out the height of the side pieces, and if I didn't mess something up, looks like about 16 3/4. So got those two cut, got our centerpiece cut. So I'm gonna try to get this thing tacked together and double check it, see what it all looks like. Hopefully I got it right. That thing, laying that out, sometimes it gets me, and just part of it, I guess. But it'd be better if I know for sure it's right. So that's gonna be the next steps, getting that frame tacked together for that top link, and go from there. I've heard a lot of discussion in the past about these cold cut carbide tip saws, and they're expensive. They're a lot more expensive than like a dry cut abrasive saw, but man, the quality is just there. Check this out. So I set that saw up to miter these on 45s, and that dude is absolutely spot on. I mean, yeah, they are expensive, but in terms of fit up and speed of fitting stuff up, they're hard to beat, especially if you're trying to make money doing this stuff. got to a good stopping point. We got the hoop cut out, tacked up. Got the ears for the top link on. It's not attached down here, it's just sitting in that frame, but I think that's a pretty good stopping point for now. We're gonna pack it up. It's getting dark out here, and call it a day. Maybe work on it tomorrow, next couple days, but in the meantime, check out that sunset, man. That is all right. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.